it's Rob here and welcome to the next of my build videos on the Tamiya TD4 Super Avante. Here's where we left off last time. We connected the front gearbox and prop shaft, etc. So with that, let's get straight on in to I think it'll be step 30. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so step 30 is making up the front lower arms or wishbones. So we need parts L5 and 2 D5s, a couple of ball joints, 4 2.6 by 5mm screws and some stainless steel bars. And I've prepped that one already, and these 2.6 by 5mm screws are to hold in the steel bars. I have seen this before on I think it was my XV01 chassis. So we just screw them in, and then noting the orientation before you do any of this. So you've got I think that's the shock mount upwards. We should then simply, he says, be able to poke the bar through, and there we go. Step 30 done. Step 31 is a simple case of attaching the bumper. If we have a look at the bumper B2, we've got 2 holes there, which I believe line up with the stainless steel shafts, like so. And then looking at the screw positions, it's the back 2 for now. And that's the lower wishbones all secured, ready to be fitted to the chassis. And step 32 is attaching the wishbones to the chassis itself, and we've got 7 screws in total, and you need to note where they all go, because we've got 2 short countersunk screws and 3 longer ones, and it should just be a case of screwing the lot together, and that now makes sense. The shorter 2 screw into the steering linkage, so that's metal on metal. So I'm going to use a bit of thread lock. There. And there. Goes there. And the last 2 go right at the front, like that. So I'll get them tightened up, and then we can swiftly move on. Steps 33, 34 and 35 are building up the front shocks, which are again oil filled. No difference, exactly the same as the rear ones, except the body's a bit shorter. But strangely, the piston rod is very long, comparatively speaking, and you have to put this part A17 in, and then when you come to put the spring on, remember to keep this at the bottom so that when you put the spring holder on it goes over part A17. The spring's fairly loose and the instructions say to use V6, which I've put on, but I still felt it was a bit loose, so I also took, I can't remember what the number is now, but it's the thinnest of the pre-tensioners, and that just holds it nicely, ready for the next stage. Step 36 is quite complex, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so we start off with, let's move this piece out of the way, K7. We've got two 850 bearings that will hopefully be a tight fit, or at least tight enough to stay in. We then need to connect two ME13s, which are R-clip posts, metal again, and using quite long screws, but there's a little note and a diagram here to show you the direction that the holes should take, and you have one on top and one on the bottom. So if we do it that way, obviously that one has to go somewhere like that, but we need to start somewhere. So I've got one of these screws, I'm going to poke it through, and again, because it's metal on metal, I'm using some thread lock. I'll put these R-clips on for two reasons, and one of them is to hold the thing in place while I tighten it up. So that's the first one on. I'll get the second one done, and that goes at 90 degrees, so I'll do that one off camera. We then need part L3, and we need a couple of ball joints, and we need an MD7, which is similar to the ME13s but without the hole. So I'm not really sure what that does yet, but I think this bit goes over it, and then it all gets connected together. So that's that bit. We've then got two MA2 screws that need to go through, and these two tiny little M8 O-rings, but it's telling me to glue them on or glue them in place, so I'm assuming you're supposed to glue them onto the plastic, but they are so small that you need to, if I just get it, is it going to stay? As you can see, really ickle. So what I'm doing, because I'm not sure it needs it really, but anyway, I'm trying to follow the instructions to the letter, and typical. And then with it screwed in like so, I'm getting my what's it called again, fantastic elastic glue, and a little bit of thin metal piano wire, squeezing some out because I've accidentally pierced it, and then we need to leave that for ages and ages and ages because it takes a long time for the glue to cure. And the last step in this bit is making up these steering rods. Now I've already done them, and you have to make up two different lengths, but then you've got this ME16 suspension ball, which is metal, and that has to click in to part, I can't remember what that part number is, A32, using your pliers like that. And that then, once you've got the two, is step 36 finally complete. Step 37 is attaching the front dampers to the damper holder, and as you can see I've already done this. You're going to need plastic parts L4 and L7 to attach a bar to it, which is the pivot point, something like so. So pivots there and moves up so you can replace the battery. And I believe you also have to put, I think that's the longer one of the two turnbuckles you made up earlier, onto it, which I've already done. And again, it's just a simple case of popping the ball joint on, if you've got the strength. There we go, and there we are, ready to install it into the chassis. Step 38 is fairly easy. There's a couple of different parts to this. First off is it's telling you to put some high density foam to protect the battery, I am assuming, and then some aluminium tape to protect the servo cable, which, oops, as you can see there, I've already done. There's the tape and there's the foam, so that's all ready to go. So I think the only bit of equipment we need is ME6, which is a 3x10mm grub screw, which, as you can hopefully see here, screws in there, and then this little beast slots in like so, and you screw it in there. But I think before I do that, I think I'm going to attach the shocks to these Dubry Firkins, and then we just need to take a tiny little hex drive and hopefully wind it through. The kind of last step is to line the screws up, and the last stage is to take your arm and pop it on the ball joint. There we go. And with that, I think I'll leave it there for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope you can join me for the next one, which hopefully will be finishing the chassis off. Thanks for watching. Bye.